Hey guys, it's Saga from TechWorks, and here's my detailed camera review of the Realme 3 Pro. You guys have been asking for this video ever since Realme announced the phone. Like always, Realme did not send me a review unit, so I had to order it via flash sales, and because of that, the videos are a bit late. But I guess it's better late than never. This Realme 3 Pro is the closest and one of the direct competitors of the Redmi Note 7 Pro, which as we already know has got a great set of cameras. Realme has created a lot of hype around the cameras on the 3 Pro, so in this video, let's try and find out if these cameras are really as good as the company claims. Realme 3 Pro comes with a 16 megapixel primary camera with f1.7 aperture, and each individual pixel has a size of 1.22 micron. Now this is the same sensor that we saw on the OnePlus 6T, so we know for a fact that it can take amazing images. Secondary camera uses a 5 megapixel depth sensor with f2.4 aperture. There is a single LED flash to help you in low lighting situations. With the rear camera, you can shoot 4K 30fps, 1080p 30, 60 and 120fps and 720p 960fps videos. At the front, there is a 25 megapixel selfie camera with f2.0 aperture and it can shoot 1080p 30fps videos. With these specs out of the way, let us now get to the image and video samples from the Realme 3 Pro. But before that, why don't you take a few moments to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. That way, you won't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. There are plenty of details in these daylight images. Since this is the same 16 megapixel sensor that we saw on the OnePlus 6T, we already knew that it is capable of taking good shots. If you zoom in a lot, these images might not hold as many details as you would expect. As a workaround for that, Realme has included an Ultra HD mode which combines information from multiple images to form a more detailed 64 megapixel image. There is not a huge difference in normal 16 megapixel images and the 64 megapixel Ultra HD ones, but you still have that option and it might come in handy while you are capturing landscapes. You also get a 2x zoom button in the viewfinder. Realme 3 Pro doesn't have a secondary telephoto lens, so these 2x images are just digitally zoomed in. Colors look good and natural for the most part. If you don't like how they look, or if you want to add a bit more saturation to your shots, then there is an option to turn on Chroma Boost, which adds a lot more vividness to the colors. I personally like natural looking colors, so I left the Chroma Boost off for all of my shots. You get an amazing dynamic range in your images. This phone is aggressive with the HDR mode, and it makes sure that there is plenty of details in the shadows and also keeps the highlights in check for the most part. In this image, it did very well and retained a lot of details in the white flowers, instead of just blowing up the details. Redmi Note 7 Pro is going to have a tough time keeping up with this phone when I compare the cameras on both these phones in my next video. Here's a quick focusing speed test. The camera is fairly quick at switching the focus from near to far objects and back again. Even with dual pixel face detection autofocusing, it is not the quickest, but it gets the job done. Accurate focusing is very important while taking these close-up and macro shots. All these close-up shots turned out so good with the subject in perfect sharp focus and the background being blurred out so nicely thanks to the wide f1.7 aperture. Thanks to secondary depth sensor, you can take nice looking portrait shots. There is not a lot to complain about when it comes to detecting edges and separating your subject from rest of the background. But I think the main subject or face of the subject is a bit softer in these portrait shots. A bit sharper subject could have made these portrait shots look much better than they already do. Like with humans and pets, it can take portrait mode images of objects as well, and it is equally good if not better at detecting the edges, which is a big deal as some of these objects have really complex edges. It is definitely not perfect, and it does blur out some parts of the objects that you would have wanted to be in focus, but I think for the price, these small things can be overlooked. Moving to the images in lower and artificial lighting conditions, Realme 3 Pro really surprised me here. I was not expecting it to perform so well given the lighting conditions. I mean, there is still a lot of noise in the darker parts of these images, but the overall images when you zoom out still look really good. What's even better is you get a nightscape mode which takes the lower light images to the next level. Just look at the amount of light, details and sharpness this mode adds in. These images are slightly zoomed in for some reason, but they look absolutely amazing considering they are from a budget smartphone. You need to hold the phone steady for a couple of seconds while capturing these nightscape shots, but the results that you get are totally worth it. If you don't have the patience for the nightscape mode, regular nighttime shots also turn out to be good enough. Like while shooting with all the phones in lower light, just make sure to hold your phone a bit steady so it can capture a bit more light without blurring the shot. That brings us to the front-facing camera. The 25 megapixel selfie camera captures a lot of details and overall good looking selfies. Since Realme is descending from Oppo, we kind of already knew that the front facing camera is going to be a good one. You can take portrait selfies and these also turn out to be very good. For most of the images, edge detection is good and accurate. I just think that there should have been a slider to let us adjust the amount of blur in the background, because right now this amount of blur looks a bit processed and unnatural. Dynamic range also takes a big hit while taking portrait selfies. Almost all details from the highlights are blown out. If these two things can be taken care of, I think Realme 3 Pro will definitely be the budget smartphone with the best selfie camera. Here's a video from the front facing camera of the Realme 3 Pro. You can see how it handles the overall colors of the scene, exposure and stabilization when I'm walking around with it. Coming to the video part of things, you can shoot 4K 30fps videos with this phone. These are not stabilized in any way and they are a bit saturated compared to normal 1080p videos. Speaking of 1080p videos, you can capture them in 30 or 60 fps. Again, 60 fps 1080p videos are not stabilized, but the 30 fps videos do get electronic stabilization. You can shoot 960 fps super slow motion videos in 720p resolution, and here is how they look. I'm not a big fan of these 960 fps videos, be it from this phone or any other high-end phone, mainly because the quality of these videos is not that great right now. So I rather prefer 120 or 240 fps slow motion videos which are shot at 1080p resolution. After looking at all the image and video samples from the Realme 3 Pro, I would have to say that I am really impressed with the cameras on this phone. Images turned out to be really good in almost all lighting conditions, and I don't think there is too much to complain about here. Which means this is a very good phone to consider if you are in the market for a new budget smartphone with a really good set of cameras. And it also means that the Redmi Note 7 Pro has got a very tough competition in the camera department. To find out which one has better set of cameras, I am going to put them up against each other in my next video. So make sure you are subscribed and have the notifications turned on. Until then, if you are planning to get the Realme 3 Pro, I will appreciate if you get it from the affiliate link in the description section. Doing this helps the channel at no extra cost to you. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.